another Christmas video on the three magi, which is where you get the root from magic. So magic is the practice of the three magi. And so the three magi were led to Christ. And so that means that ultimately magic leads one to Christ. In the realm of magic, which is the realm of will, I just did a video on will. Will is all of reality, and every current in reality, all forces, all possible things are will. It's another word for the ether, the substance of all being. If you want to prove this to yourself, just look at will. Like, look at will and contemplate, ponder will, which is the feeling that you have of, it's the feeling of choice, it's the feeling of impulse, it's anything that moves you. But especially like when your decisions move you, like your decisions move you, which is the mind, that's the ether moving you. If you look at most people, not exactly unconscious to this, but for some reason don't look at it, you obviously can see it. If you couldn't see it, like it's influencing you. It's influencing your decisions, it's influencing your behavior, it's influencing your movements. It exists. You can see it, but you're ignoring it, and that the only reason that the world exists the way that it does as a place of separate objects is because you're ignoring will, which it's the most powerful thing in the world. It's the thing that moves you. It's the thing that enacts your decisions. Like if you decide to lift your hand, the thing that is lifting your hand is will. Volition, like wrestle somebody. If you want to feel will, you could wrestle a tree, you could pick up a rock. In all those cases, you're feeling will, and it's active at different levels. And so it's like swirling, the day-night cycle, time, rotation, spinning, repetition, waving. It's a swirling or a wave pattern of will, of ether. And so there's this vortex, there's this central point, there's this sun, the black sun, the radiance, the light of the human mind. Like when somebody looks at you and they have the light of humanity in their eyes, when somebody looks at you and you know that God is seeing you, that light in their eyes is Christ, is the source of human will. So in some places there's a void of it, like the person's entire being is that of the will of Christ, but the place from which the human is created is vacant in a lot of cases. That's what you would perceive as a soulless or an evil person. But people who study this, right, when you study magic and you start to able to move magic, you start to able to sense and influence the larger currents of behavior, which is you influence people's decisions, you influence the decisions of all the animals, all the people, all the creatures, all the things around you, as you influence the flow of reality, as you influence how the ether is behaving through like ritual, like the ether responds to beauty, the ether responds to various things. And as you do those things, then people's decision-making faculties, their will is altered. And so the magician can alter reality in this way by seeing it as ether, as seeing it as magical substance. But this magical substance, if somebody is actually following it, if somebody's actually studying it, the master of magic, the three magi were the masters of magic. And that magic, that impulse, that will, the decision-making, the substance of choice itself leads to Christ. Although the substance of self is that transcendent thing we call God, The nexus point around which it is all turning would be called Christ. And so somebody who studies magic eventually starts to notice this great turning, this churning, this swirling around the central point of reality. And we call that Christmas. The swirling of reality around Christ is called Christmas, Christmas. And so that's the story of the three magi.